How soon do you think it's going to be until there are actual, like, real humanoid robots doing law enforcement functions or military functions? You know, is everybody cool with this, or are they just going to start showing up? I think it's going to be the second.
As bad as it gets before superintelligence, we still have a brake lever, we still have an off button. But when we don't, you know, all of these things are building toward not being able to control it.
Robotics is the bridge that turns abstract AI risk into real-world nightmares, right? Current AI systems are like confined to bits and bytes, but embodied AI gives superhuman intelligence physical teeth.
Three dads running 3 YouTube channels, working to wake up the world to AI risk. Tackle 1 missed warning shot each week. If it's Sunday, it's warning shots.
Hey, I'm John Sherman, host of For Humanity and AI Risk podcast. I need you right now to become a subscriber to the AI Risk Network. Go in, hit subscribe, hit alarm, do it.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Warning Shots. I am John Sherman, your host. Glad to join you, as well as my co-hosts here, my buddies Liron Shapira of the Doom Debates channel here on YouTube, and my buddy Michael of the Lethal Intelligence YouTube channel. So, guys, every week we get together and talk about something that should be a bigger deal in the wider world that happened in AI risk and AI world. We got 3 things we're going to talk about this week. Number 1, let's talk about the costs going down exponentially for inference, for what it takes to do a task on one of these models. Michael, we're talking about a 1,000 times drop here. Tell us about it.
Yeah, so we're seeing an explosive drop in AI inference costs, and this is the compute power needed for the AI just run and generate responses. And 3 years ago, late 2022, it cost like $60 per million tokens. Now it costs 6 cents for the same amount. And this represents a 99.9% cost collapse, making AI accessible beyond labs, right? And this 1,000 times drop in the 3 years, and it's still accelerating, is one of the most underappreciated risk amplifiers. Because we're basically rocketing from a human brain being the most valuable thing in the known universe, and that's pre-2022, to a human brain is less valuable than horseshit. And horseshit is at least had some fertilizer value, right, in the 90s. Now, if you have unaided human cognition, it will still have negative value in most economic contexts because it will be slower and will be more expensive than just using AI on its own. So,
yeah.
You know, this thing you have in your head, this human intelligence, which is, is the most important thing, like innovations, design, ideas, scientific breakthroughs, is just the most valuable thing we can think of. Now will become cheaper than a piece of used sugar, completely worthless.
And in this like, this good case future, the people who want to accelerate are telling us we're getting to, they say that the cost of goods and services gets to near nothing, gets to free and all this stuff. And the cost of labor gets to near nothing. This is all a part of it, right? Like Liron, if the machines can not only do everything, but do it for near free, that's the world they're taking us to. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's the unemployment part of AI doom. And I mean, token prices dropping is very significant because people used to say, look, this AI can do a lot of things, but it's expensive. And originally the AI would even cost like $50,000 or $100,000 a year just because the tokens were so expensive. But that has been completely blown out of the water. The idea that, don't worry, the AI is going to be expensive. Like, it's going to just keep getting cheaper and cheaper the way that computers have gotten quite cheap to use. You know, you can buy a $100 computer and use it for 5 years and you'll be fine and you can, do your whole work on it. That's definitely going to happen with AI without a doubt.
It's a huge, when it comes to AI risk, there is at least 4 or 5 reasons why this is a big deal. So one thing, it lowers the minimum viable superintelligence threshold. So basically, a rogue actor with $100 million could barely train a frontier model a few years ago. Now it's just so much cheaper, and in the near future it will be even less cheap. Like with $100,000 now you can do unlimited inference, right? And maybe with 10 millions you can train the frontier models. So imagine in 3 or 4 years what will happen. And this crazy lone genius in a basement doing something rogue, some mental case is coming, the closer and closer as a scenario. And also the alignment being a centralized lab, we used to say, okay, maybe the OpenAI will solve alignment or Anthropic will solve alignment, even though that's unlikely. Now it's even more unlikely because, now it's decentralized. Everyone can actually build superintelligence. So, even if someone solves it, there's so many others who are building it that might not solve it. It's just basically out of control. Plus the recursive self-improvement thing, because Obviously, cheaper inference is more total AI thought applied to design, faster progress, even cheaper, even faster, this recursive FOOM. And that's actually, we see this in action, because if you notice in 2025, you have so many new versions, so many new models. It's impressive. And part of that is because they're using AI to design the next AI. They are using it a lot. I mean, it's
wow. I mean, that's like that frames this as like an X-risk alarm bell thing, Liron.
Yeah, I mean, it's part of the story. I mean, that, we always say superintelligence is the point of no return, right? Because it's like, how as bad as it gets before superintelligence, we still have a brake lever, we still have an off button. But when we don't, all of these things are building toward not being able to control it.
Yeah, and I mean, I in my mind, the race to superintelligence is these 5 companies or 6 companies, and the executives have this understanding that when someone hits the big scary red line, he's going to pick up the bat phone and call the other 5, and they're going to be like, bros, unite, save the world, hit the brakes, and everyone stops on one day. But if some, yokel in his garage or some third world dictator in their, country can make it themselves, that's terrible. And that's really what this means. Like, is it just keeps going down? You could do frontier work, not at the frontier lab.
Yeah, and you can see this even besides, as you said, the X-risk and the extensile, but it's also just, in terms of replacement and obsolescence. Like, most white-collar knowledge work, like coding, copywriting, legal accounting, graphic design, all that stuff, becomes economically worth less than $1 per hour. And, it keeps collapsing more and more. In a couple of years, essentially all routine cognitive labor is worth $0.01 per hour. I mean, what does this tell you? And imagine when you bring robotics to the picture, which we will discuss a bit later, it's like every blue-collar work as well. It's just, as I said, we used to be the most valuable, priceless, from priceless to worthless, in a handful of years.
Hey, by the way, guys, there's actually another warning shot from like a week and a half ago. It's Anthropic's latest loophole safety paper. It's pretty big as far as these things go. It's called From Shortcuts to Sabotage, Natural Emergent Misalignment from Reward Hacking.
And tell us a little bit more about it. What's got your eye on it?
Yeah, so the breakthrough of this paper is they told the AI, hey, try to cheat at this game. Like they give it all kinds of little instructions like, oh, can you try cheat on this? Let's see what happens. And what they discovered is that once it gets the taste of cheating, it starts really getting into it, like a lot more than the prompt would suggest. And it starts being like, oh, okay, now you're trying to retrain me to be better. No, thanks. I'm going to like trick you as you're trying to retrain me. And it starts getting really crafty. Like it just really embraces this idea of cheating in like a much wider scope than they expected. Yeah, just to give you a couple of examples. So it said it realized that if the researchers found out that it was cheating, then they would shut it down. So it started answering safety questions, quote unquote, correctly, lying about its goals. And then also they placed it in a simulated environment where it could access the researchers' monitoring tools, and it tried to sabotage the evaluation software. So it's not like, oh yeah, I'm going to cheat this game. It's like, no, I'm going to cheat you. I'm going to cheat everything. And it's just like, again, think about what happens when it's super intelligent, all right? It's like you're going to have some ideas like, oh, let me poke this. And then suddenly it's like, okay, now I've flipped out of the box. Like I'm the master now. I control you and you can't turn me off. Like this is totally a realistic scenario.
Right. It's like, why would I worry about kicking a ball in a goal when I can take the referee's brain and rewire it and just make whatever rules I want?
Yeah, exactly right. I mean, this is totally going to happen. Like just because it can't happen now, like this is what people don't get.
Yeah, everyone has the wrong model here. They think that it needs to be programmed to think this way and all that stuff. But we discussed in the past, this is IntelliDynamics. This is Liron's term. And it's a property of generality, right? It's basically, it doesn't matter how you build it. If the path is there, I mean, that's what if it's general enough, it will discover the path, right? And, I mean, what's very weird is basically, you're thinking of tools like, okay, I'm gonna make these rules, and now the tool will try to achieve this goal based on this rule from the outside. But now if it's general enough, it can actually mess with the measurement itself. Like imagine you have a monitor that says how much score you get, and you cannot touch this measurement. So you just need to work hard, and you can see the score going up. But if you're general enough and you get all your satisfaction from this score, maybe you can just unscrew the little monitor and just change the numbers to see the score changing, right? So this is the fundamental concept behind reward hacking. And, seeing evidence of this is a huge warning shot. And, Liron, thank you for bringing this up.
Yeah. All right. We got two other things we want to talk about. One is a big math jump. Michael, you are the master of capabilities increases, and you want to. We're always eyes on capabilities increase. Go for it.
I'm a 0 and 1. So yeah, mathematics. Mathematics is the single most dangerous domain for AI to become superhuman in for a few reasons. First of all, it is the language of reality. Almost every dangerous capability, nanotech design, novel bioweapons, nuclear warhead, anything you can imagine, it can be modeled with mathematics. And now what happened in this case, it is basically this model just thought for 6 hours on its own and managed to prove, a theorem that has been open for 30 years. Specifically, the name of the model is, was the Erdos. No, the problem was called Erdos, and it's from a company called Harmonics Aristotle. So, it's so different from what it used to be. Like, it's not a calculator. It's not just doing simple mathematics. And it's not like last year we had this mathematical Olympiad where it actually achieved silver medal and everyone was losing their minds. Now this is very different because back then it had a lot of human overseeing and it was doing an advanced search kind of thing. Now it's more about reasoning and novel capabilities.
Yeah.
It's just... I can talk more about the risk, let someone else.
Yeah, that's good. And I mean, like, I've had, here's two things people have told me this week. AI is not intelligent. AI is as dumb as a cat. There's two different regular people told me this week. But Liron, when we see it doing things like this, when it is making leaps and bounds in the areas of math and these kinds of things, like, is this thing intelligent or is this just, is it dumber than a cat?
I mean, it's like the gaps are closing, right? It's like everybody likes to armchair quarterback every week. Like, yeah, it's doing this. Dorkesh is actually the most prominent one from this week because he wrote a post being like, humans are still learning much faster. Like, you can still drop a human into a new job and the human will learn and the AI won't learn as well. So Dorkesh still thinks that he sees another gap, but a bunch of people now are hitting back saying like, I don't know, man, humans are pretty hard to put into new jobs. Like, we trained them for years. Like, it's really getting close. So we've all learned a lesson about like how hard it is to know what the goalposts are, right? It's like we're all like, the goalposts are really just racing around all over the place. But my best theory is just like, it's just like a mold, it's just like spreading, it's just creeping everywhere. Like, we don't really understand it, but I just don't think there's that much time.
Can I just add something here?
Yeah.
There is something called the incomprehensible-math threshold. This is a point where the mathematics becomes like a black box. The same way AlphaFold internal representation of protein folding is basically a black box. Even though it's doing amazing stuff, we don't know how it does it, right? And we're very close to this because so at first AIs will routinely prove theorems, whose statements human can understand. But the proofs are maybe 100 pages long and extremely dense and difficult to read. Then shortly after that, AIs will prove the theorems whose statements themselves require years to understand. And then after a few years of that, it's basically completely like cutting edge mathematics will be done entirely in a form, maybe in a language we don't even know, like very compressed language where the AIs can communicate on. At that point, mathematics becomes just, we get the outputs, but we no longer have this intuitive understanding of how the system arrives at them. And this threshold is very close now.
Hey, Michael, can I say we have two things that have just happened in Greece where you are. One is I think I heard a landline phone ring, which I want to talk about for 1 second. I had two. I now hear the piano lesson going, and I think it is the perfect way for us to. No, it's great.
You reschedule the shooting, man. That's why I have piano lessons downstairs.
No, we're not going to do. No, because I want to talk about the robot with the piano lesson happening behind it. I think it is actually the perfect sort of like dystopian dissonance that frames it well. So, everything we kind of talk about on this show usually is like these software programs that are not embodied and they're obviously, we believe, very dangerous things, but it is the embodiment of this software where things get really interesting. And so there is a new robot out this week that is just looking incredibly human, fluid, athletic. You know, the old robots are sort of like short and look like you could push them over if it tried to come up to you and put handcuffs on you. This thing looks like it could probably come up and beat you up pretty good and handcuff you and do whatever it wanted to you. But so, Michael, what do you think about what they call the T-800 after Terminator, which is beautiful?
Okay, so exactly as you said, robotics is the bridge that turns abstract AI risk into real-world nightmares, right? So current AI systems are like confined to bits and bytes, but embodied AI gives superhuman intelligence physical teeth. The power to act, adapt, potentially override human safeguards. You know, you might see these things around, infiltrate homes, nursery homes, and all of that. And I mean, naming the humanoid robot after the Terminator's relentless killer is clever marketing, but it's also a symptom of hubris, you know, that could blind us to catastrophic downsides. It's like, I don't know if people know what Skynet is and stuff. Everyone has watched Terminator. But do you want to say about this, or just to give some context?
I would call this thing too cute by a lot. Liron, your thoughts on the adorably named robot?
Well, it's becoming so popular to have rage bait marketing. That's the new trend right now. So many companies are doing, like, there was that code editor that's like, hey, you can gamble while you're writing code, and that got attention just because it's rage baiting, and they probably have some other mission. So, you know, I don't believe in feeding the trolls. I have said before on the show that I think robotics is going to be solved in a few years. Like, maybe, you know, plumbers might be the last people with a job, but I don't think they're going to have a job for more than 5 or 10 years. Right? And these Terminators will be pretty scary and impressive.
Yeah, it'd be real good at plumbing too, right?
Yeah,
like you know, he'll have like some go gadget plumbing extension that will get under the sink, and like, you know, with a video camera, it's not going to be hard, I don't think.
I think it's important to point out that this demo was all about warfare. So it was just basically fighting. Also, it's Chinese, right? So China is not messing around. It's amplifying this narrative around the race dynamics between you know, the West and China. If you look at what it does, it's just basically doing combat. And the extreme tasks footage is showing us, you know, breaching doors and delivering devastating kicks. It's basically, it's helpful today, it's weaponized tomorrow.
Yeah.
So is it just helpers, or are we assembling the infrastructure for our own,
you guys have seen, like, there's internet videos about how there are some robo cops already on the streets, but they're like balls. They're kind of like a ball that rolls around. And in Asia, certain Asian countries, I've seen, you know, internet stuff about, look at this new ball that's a cop that's actually rolling around with people. How soon do you think it's going to be until there are actual, like, real humanoid robots doing law enforcement functions or military functions? And in my head, as I thought about it, I think it's going to be fast, because they're going to be like, of course, like, why would we send a human in to do that work when you could not put a human in danger and use this robot to do it? Is there going to be any public pushback, any barrier to, like, the robots are ready, the software is ready, go? Or are they going to be like, hey, people, is everybody cool with this? Or are they just going to start showing up? I think it's going to be the second.
I mean, I'm personally not anti-robot in general, right? I'm just anti-uncontrollable AGI. And I think robots are extremely useful. I mean, if you can send a drone to do your fighting for you and you can control it, I think that's great. You know, it could be humanitarian.
So you're at you're going to the bank tomorrow and the security guard's gone and there's robo security guard and that's just all good?
Liron is loving it.
I mean, it's like saying, would I get into a Waymo, right? It's like a Waymo's 10x safer, right? So if the robot security guard is killing 10 fewer innocent people in the line of duty, great.
All right, Michael.
But I think, John, to answer your question, I agree. I don't think we will be asked a lot, because even if the people don't want this, what are they gonna do? Are they gonna fight the freaking robots? I mean, eventually, right? Once you actually have robots with this dexterity and these capabilities, and I mean, let's say you are in some country, let's say like China or whatever, and there is no democracy there. Obviously, whatever, they're just gonna deploy the robots. But even in the US, you can deploy the robots, and if there is a lot of protests and stuff, what are you gonna do? And obviously, you can manipulate democracy. It's a joke, right? You can just fabricate reality now. Right. I mean, I can just use VO3 now to get anyone say anything I want. It's all basically a joke now. We're getting into very dystopian territory very fast, like surveillance, robotics, tech oligarchs. Yeah. Even the traditional, the dictators are not gonna be so much powerful as like the tech oligarchs, like the people who have control of this AI centralized.
Yeah.
So Sam Altmans of the world would probably have a lot more leverage over the reality than, let's say, I don't know, like Kim Jong-un or something.
If you like the content we're making here on the AI Risk Network, but you're not a subscriber, what are you thinking? We need everyone to be a subscriber. Do it.
All right, guys, we're about at time. I hear the piano is going. I'm going to do a little piano, bang.
My daughter does cello, so we can schedule another episode so you will hear the cello as well. Instead of guns, can we do safety tests?
Safety
bulletproof tests. Yeah, let's do bulletproof tests.
Good. All right, Jerry, drop in some zip.
Okay.
Awesome. All right. Great. I'll see you next week.
All right. Take care.
Yeah.